Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and welcome to the next episode of the Expansion Point. We're going to have another really exciting topic for discussion today, and it's all going to be about life force energy. So again, if you're viewing this live, feel free to share it out. Again, I'm very happy to be here with the Akashic Academy for the fourth episode of the Expansion Point. So I'm really enjoying just the community here. It's wonderful. And of course, the last 5 minutes of the episode today will be going into Q&A. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the topic of life force energy. So we're looking at life force, or ki, chi, hado, kundalini, mana, prana. Many different names for the aspect of our life force energy that flows through everything that exists. And of course, we're looking at two different branches as it relates to life force energy that exists within us. The first represents that of prenatal life force energy. This is given to us by our parents, their ancestors, etc. There is a finite amount of prenatal life force energy. Our vital energy, without it, the body will perish. And so the prenatal life force energy is all about our true vitality. And there's only a significant amount of that energy. And once we burn up all of that prenatal life force, we can't get that back. After that's gone, then the body itself perishes. That's like the power source of our body itself, is the prenatal life force energy. Then, of course, we have the postnatal life force energy, which is found in our air, our water, our food, and our environment. Our bodies are chi machines and live off the postnatal chi found in every living thing. So when you are eating an apple, when you're drinking water, the body itself is actually collecting the essence out of that food, out of that water, right? So you're basically ingesting all of the healthy chi that's coming out of every particular form of food that you eat, and out of every particular form of liquid that you drink, right? That's why we are able to evacuate that waste after a while, because then again we basically utilize all of the chi energy that's needed for our body to continue to function. And so we work together with the postnatal chi that is infinite in its splendor, so to speak, and we're able to ingest that and power this technology that we call our body. And so with fresh chi, with pure chi, the greatest forms of chi that you can get, again, comes from organic food, comes from wild food, comes from food purely grown from the earth, and as little toxicity in it as possible. And that is how we're getting fresh chi. That's how we actually start to feel vitalized in that way. You'll find that chi with everything that's naturally grown from the earth. That's the healthiest that we can get. And that's exactly what our body needs to become clustered. And as it becomes clustered, now we start to bring in more vitality energy. Our organs are now starting to get healthy. Our bodily systems are all getting amped up. And now we're getting as much energy in us, just as if we were like a teenager again, right? So the more that you're eating healthy and drinking well as well too, and getting all this fresh chi within yourself, breathing very deeply as well too, because a lot of us are shallow breathers, right? It's just, right? We want to make sure that we're at least doing a little bit more deep breathing each and every single day. Even if you're able to do about 15 minutes worth of deep breathing, just like that, right? Not a lot of effort to it, right? Just get those few minutes of deep breathing in per day. Your body is therefore receiving all of this pure chi energy, and it's now able to function at peak performance. So moving on. So within our body, we're very aware of the 7 chakra centers. I'm pretty sure most people are. We have the root chakra, the navel chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, right? Those are the basic 7 chakras. These are not chakras. These are what's known as the dantians. Okay, so the dantians is referred to as elixir field in rough translation. The Dan elixir Tian field. Now this is more so taught in Taoism. This is more so taught in Chinese philosophy as well too, as it relates to the 3 elixir fields contained within our body. Now in the diagram here it shows them being red, but in fact they are actually gold. Right? They are golden elixir fields. So the lower dantian is contained just below the navel. If you basically take 3 finger lengths right below the belly button and 1 finger width that goes inside, that would be the location to where the lower dantian is. So it's again somewhat similar to the location of the navel chakra, very close to that area. Now this is again your vitality center. This is where all of the body's vitality is stored within that particular lower dantian. Okay, so that deals with our action, that deals with our energy of vitality, our energy of movement, right? Our entire energy of dynamism, about being able to interact and move and involve ourselves with the world. The middle dantian, the second dantian, located in the center of the chest. Okay, so it's pretty much close to the heart in that way, you could say. And that this would represent the dantian of emotions, of feelings, of empathy. Right, so this is our emotional center in that particular way. And so we are able to work with the middle dantian with the chi center, and we are able to help to harmonize our emotional states. So when you start to feel a lot more emotionally balanced, when we're starting to work together with our empathy and our intuition as well too, this is helping to balance that middle dantian. Just with the lower dantian, when we start to work with our vitality, we start to eat healthy, we take good care of our body, we start to work with sexual energy, which we'll be talking about in a little bit, and that's how we're bringing balance to that dantian. Then finally we have the upper dantian, which is located around the area of the pineal gland. Okay, so up by the brow. And this represents that of wisdom. This represents that of spiritual intelligence. This represents mental energy. Okay, so when we start to work together with our mental energy, when we start to balance our mental imagery, when we start to balance our belief systems, when we start to feel an open mind expanding, we keep our mind open and we expand more to spiritual consciousness. This is helping to bring balance to that particular dantian center as well too. So the dantians, again, are a little bit more different than the chakra centers. So when we start working with the dantians, what you will discover is that the chakra centers themselves represent that of a rainbow spectrum. So as they are a rainbow spectrum, they have limitation to them, right? So we're actually only able to perceive different dimensionalities as we awaken the chakra centers based upon the rainbow spectrum energy, which is again quite vast, quite powerful, right? But you're working together with the rainbow light spectrum, and that is a limitation. When you actually start to work with the dantians, like through qigong, through tai chi, even certain degrees of yoga as well too, Taoism, internal alchemy as well, right? Then you're actually starting to activate these centers and you're purifying the chi within each of them, right? So the lower dantian is what we would know as our Jing center, okay? That is Jing, which basically represents the prenatal chi within the body. And of course, the Indian traditions refers to this as Kundalini, right? So Kundalini and Jing are basically one and the same. So what we're doing is we're actually being able to refine our prenatal chi energy, our Jing, through the postnatal energy that we're actually bringing into ourselves. So as we start to refine the prenatal chi, it's coming through, again, working through a lot of past woes, right? Working through a lot of upsets. We're being able to harmonize a lot of the chaos within the Jing that can be left behind from our parents, that can also be left behind from their parents, our grandparents, etc., etc., etc. It continues to go up the line, right? So as we start to bring harmony to ourselves, as we start to work with our feelings, as we start to focus our energies, as we start to make choices that are true to ourselves, now we're actually starting to use postnatal chi, our breath, the food that we eat, everything within the universe that we are now bringing into our body is helping to refine the Jing. And as the Jing therefore becomes refined, now that energy is moving up like a reservoir. So after we start to refine the Jing energy, we start to move up into the Qi energy, which is the Qi center in the middle dantian, and then we start to build that up. And again, it works like a reservoir effect. So I'll be touching more into that in just a couple minutes. But again, this is the idea of the energy centers. And when you start working with the golden energy, you're now available to access all bands of creation, because everything merges itself back into golden light. The golden energy is accessible in all bands of frequencies throughout creation. So when you're actually uplifting yourself with Dantian energy, that's actually much more powerful than the aspect of the chakra centers. So what you basically discover is that as you start working with the Dantians a lot more, is that the chakra centers actually become integrated with the Dantian centers, which means you don't have chakra centers anymore, right? As you start to integrate themselves together within the Dantian centers, the chakra centers are no longer your quote-unquote power systems. They're no longer the dimensional constants that connect together. They integrate and they merge together with these three Dantian centers. And now you're working together in the golden spectrum. And in the golden spectrum, you're able to access everything, right? You're able to connect very much deeply with all that. So again, quite an amazing experience when you start working with the Dantians. I've been working with mine now for a little over a year and a half, and it's still quite a bit of work. I'll see if I have time. I can talk more about that, looking into working with the Dantians. Okay, nourishing life force. Vitality, purification, or inner alchemy, right? So again, just as I was talking about, we want to work to bring purity, bring clarity, being able to recluster all of the chaotic energy and bring it into natural order. And this is a part of inner alchemy, right? Emotional balancing, again, which represents the middle Dantian, and love cultivation, which again represents the higher, the upper Dantian, okay? So again, we look at the lower Dantian as what's known as the Jing center. We look at the middle Dantian as the Qi center, and we look at the upper Dantian as the Shen center. Now basically what happens is that as you start to fill the reservoir with the lower Dantian moving up to the middle Dantian, then both of those elixir fields from the Jing and the Qi form together to create Shen energy. Okay? So working with the sexual creative energy. The sexual energy is again in the lower area. It's our vitality, it's our sexuality, it's our action-based creative energy, right? So sexual energy is emotionally activated. Once stimulated, you can direct it through the body. Okay? So this is a lot like what Tantra teaches. This is also again a lot of what a lot of the ancient Taoists teach as well too. There are certain techniques that basically what you're attempting to do is do semen retention. This is basically referring to the males here, right? Is you want to perform semen retention. What you're actually doing is you're just orgasming. And as you're orgasming, you're channeling that energy and you're bringing it up through the body. Okay, so let me go back to my camera here. So you're actually moving it up through the body. You can actually just use your hands and actually just start to move it up through your body. You can also move it up through intention as well too. So again, if you are performing solo or with a partner, either way is fine, right? But you're working together in being able to harness your sexual energy. And as you basically go through these orgasmic states, you're taking that energy and you're moving it up through the body, right? So you're just like you're just waving it up through your hands here, and you're feeling it melding, right? It's melding with your heart, it's melding with your lungs, it's melding with your kidneys, it's melding with your liver, it's melding with your spleen, with every single part of your body, right? So what you're basically doing is you're looking to create a full body orgasm, right? So this takes a bit of time to get used to. But as you start to do that, you start to work together in bringing that, lifting that energy up. So you're not just working on genital-based orgasms, right? The same thing with women as well too, is that as you go through orgasm, you again start to move this up, right? So it's both male and female compatible. But basically for men, we're attempting to prevent ejaculation, right? We're basically just attempting to get into orgasm. So if we're making love to our partner in that sense, we're working only to achieve orgasm. And then as we achieve orgasm, we're just basically moving that energy up through the entire body. And this is stimulating your entire body. Your body is becoming completely revitalized because what you're doing is you're opening up the cauldron, right? So they also refer to the three Dantians as the three cauldrons. And what you're doing is you're brewing these cauldrons, right? So as these cauldrons start to get more active, they're almost like they're just brewing right now, or they're boiling, right? Then we're just moving that energy up through the body. We want the entire body to feel the power of orgasm. We want all of that sexual energy to move through our body. And again, this is increasing vitality. This is opening up centers within your body. This is activating DNA. This is majorly improving rejuvenation within your organs. The benefits are just a mile long, right? So when you start working together with this, I know it's kind of a crash course episode, right, in being able to look into this a little bit more. But there's a lot of information on YouTube as well. I actually have past videos where I've talked about this more in depth on my channel. It's youtube.com/user/self-empowerment-tv, all one word. And you can check out more of those more in-depth videos on this. But again, we're basically raising the vitality energy, the sexual energy, and we're creating this increased amount of vitality through the entirety of our body. Okay, so again, sexual energy is emotionally activated. Once stimulated, you direct it through the body. The more sexual and creative energy stimulated, the greater the vitality available through your body. Okay, so just important things to look at if you really want to work in rejuvenating your entire body. But of course, it even goes deeper than that. We can actually obtain spiritual immortality as we start to work together with the Dantian practice to actually learn to become an immortal. Okay, this is not a joke. This is something that's very, very real. In fact, there are figures within Chinese history that have been able to achieve this. So, spiritual immortality, the ability to transfer all memories of the self to the nurtured light body within you, activating the Jing, the Qi, and the Shen Dantian centers, transferring love energy from every cell within the body to the duplicate light body within yourself. When the physical vehicle perishes, your personality and memories remain within the light body, as you are accessible to all dimensions and densities of being. Okay? Now, I have actually met a couple of people who have actually been able to awaken the light body duplicate within themselves, right? It's basically like being spiritually pregnant. So basically, if you're doing things like Qigong or Tai Chi or internal Taoist practice, inner alchemy, there will come a particular point. Now basically, when you're looking into Qigong, you do it for a basic amount of time for 3 years. Okay, so basically, as you're starting to do inner alchemy with all 3 of these Dantian centers, to again bring in a lot of good Qi energy, working together with inner alchemy exercises like the microcosmic orbit, for example, and being able to work with sexual and emotional cultivation, you're now bringing all of these centers online. So you work all together for about 3 years, right? 1 year basically per Dantian. Okay, so if you're able to do daily exercises of inner alchemy into the Dantian centers, usually after about 1 year, it'll fill to about 100% pure energy, pure Jing, and again 100% pure Qi, and then 100% pure Shen. Okay, so again you're combining the Jing and the Qi to create the third, which is the result, that is the Shen energy. Okay, and so what you're doing is you're working with, again, Qigong, internal Taoist practices, inner alchemy, and there will come a particular point where you will feel something growing inside of you, like a seed, right? And this seed basically starts to sprout. And it's almost like, both for male and female, that you're becoming spiritually pregnant. Okay, you're actually pregnant, right? And there's this light body that's inside you that's now starting to grow. And its nurturing substance is love, right? So you'll notice that this light body will actually start to move around within you. You'll actually start to feel this other presence. And what you're doing is you're nurturing it with all of your love essence. This is what they would consider to be the ultimate practice in Taoism, in Qigong, in Tai Chi, even in martial arts as well too, right? Is the ultimate spiritual practice is being able to activate and give birth to your light body. And so as your light body starts to grow, you put all of your love energy containing within all of the organs, within all of the cells of your body, and it's being placed into this light body. So you're just looking at like a duplicate of yourself, right? Like a duplicate within yourself, an overlay is within yourself. And you're basically filling as much love through yourself into this body, right? It may sound very easy. It's not. It's one of the most difficult practices there is, right? And you're basically just starting to work together with so much love. It's so important to cultivate as much love as possible each and every day. Like you basically would have to spend hours just getting yourself high on so much love and putting that into the organs and putting that into your cells and then transferring it to this duplicate body, right? And you're basically doing that for about 18 years, right? 18 to 20 years. So this is, again, why it's called the ultimate practice. You have to bring so much love into yourself, right? Which means that there's very little room for crankiness, right? There's very little room for despair or discouragement in any particular way. If you want to grow this body, you basically just have to be, it's almost like looking into the pure love orgasmic energy as much as possible. And then you're transferring all of this information of your body directly into this light body. As this light body starts to grow, you're now able to interact with it, right? You can connect with this light body and feel what it is to become this essence. Then when the time comes when your physical body expires and you leave the physical body, you instantly transfer yourself to this light body consciousness, right? And so now you're able to access all dimensions, all densities of being, because you are of the golden energy, right? So you're basically a golden Christed light body, all right? This is exactly what Jesus experienced. This is exactly what Buddha experienced, right? Many different forms of ancient masters have been able to create these rainbow bodies or these golden light bodies, the golden luminescent body, and are able to now replicate themselves as many times as they want, and they can access all different dimensions of space, time, everything that exists within the aspect of the matrix. They're able to access. They can even go beyond it if they wish, right? So you're basically got a ticket, a golden ticket, to access all of the universe where you are no longer karmically attached to anything, right? You move past all of that. And so this is, again, what is considered to be the ultimate practice when you start working with inner alchemy through your life force energy, right? So I'm still working on it myself. I've been working on it now for a little over a year and a half, and I'm getting there. I haven't gotten pregnant yet, so. But basically, as all three Dantian centers start to become filled and purified, that's around the time when this starts to happen. So it's usually about 3 years or so, give or take. And then you'll start to feel there's just something will happen, right? It's just almost feeling like there's just something within yourself that just, comes alive. Like the seed just starts to sprout, and you notice that there's another presence within you. And I've talked to two other people, clients of mine, who have been able to activate the light body within themselves and are feeding it with this love energy, right? So again, this is just kind of a crash course in looking into working with the inner alchemy of life force energy. But again, as we start to work together with life force energy, again, we're bringing pure chi into ourselves. We're eating healthy, right? We're getting all our good food together into ourselves. We're bringing as much healthy chi into ourselves as possible. We're also doing our inner work. Okay, very, very important. You can't avoid that. If you want to follow a spiritual path, you need to go inside and you need to do your inner work, right? And your inner work is all about being able to harmonize with any particular woes, any hardships, any challenges. And again, it all just comes down to choice, right? We have to remember that we're making our choices wisely and that we're being able to look at a choice that maybe we made out of haste, and now we're realizing what we have done, and now we're just transferring our energy over to a different perspective where the new choice that we make is in harmony, that brings that old choice into harmony as well too. So we're taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, okay? The 4 bodies. And so as we start to harmonize with that, now we start to elevate our consciousness, and we notice that the changes that take place in our world, that takes place within our life, is so astounding, right? We look at such a bigger, broader picture. We now start to play with synchronicity. We now start to play with the universe, and we go way beyond the aspects of the earthly drama, right? We're seeing much more of the mechanics about how things are being brought into reality and how we're able to work in a state of compassion with others and with ourselves. Okay? So that is the life force energy information for today. So let me go ahead and just go down to see if anybody has any questions. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Yeah, that's an important point. There's a statement here from Sally that says, as long as you have the right partner as you take on their energy as well. Yes, and that's very, very important, right? You want to make sure that you're doing this with a partner that is very simpatico with your frequency. If it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife that you have been with for quite some time, you really trust each other, sexually, that's certainly what you would want to recommend. You want to be very, very careful if you're just hooking up with somebody and someone you really don't know, and then you're experimenting with this. Probably not a very good idea, right? It'd be better just to do solo work in that way, right? To being able to work together with self-orgasm and moving up in that way. So if it is a partner that's coming together with you, someone, again, who you formed a really great bond with, a great harmony with, to being able to practice this as well. Absolutely. Yes, Sally says, did 20 odd years of Tai Chi and Qigong and taught meditation to children for 15 years. It is powerful, so long as you stay grounded. Yeah, well, that's what it does. Yeah, it gets you into that state of being grounded, and the actions themselves, it's not that you're putting a lot of visualization into your Qigong or your Tai Chi. You're letting the body move itself, right? So you're allowing the postures that you are doing, and you're feeling the Qi in between every particular posture you're doing. So I'll see if I can demonstrate a particular posture for you guys. And it's very, very simple, right? I know I don't have a lot of room here, but let's see if I can move the chair back a little bit. I've talked about this first, is that there's actually one Qigong technique that you can use that can actually repair your body, rejuvenate yourself quite well, okay? And in Qigong, this is referred to as hugging the tree or embracing the tree, okay? So it's this, okay? So you're basically just bringing your hands out, your arms out, just like you're hugging a tree, okay? Your hands are just in alignment together with your collarbone, and you're just holding this as long as you feel you can, okay? Some people starting out, it may just be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it may be, that's fine. But the whole idea is you want to try and get it up to about 10 to 20 minutes, right? This is, again, what a lot of the Qigong masters have been able to do, is they do the tree pose. And what that does is that's actually accessing your own life energy field. And what it's doing is it's actually repairing a lot of your internal energy just by doing this, because what you're doing is you're creating a geometry, right, like a sphere. And that sphere is now being harmonized, and it's now starting to work together with cellular repair. There's actually a person in Japan that I've heard about, and he was actually able to repair a broken back just by doing this, right? He basically got injured from a rugby practice. His lower back was broken. He actually had a big crack in his back in that way. And he was in the hospital. And there was this mysterious man that actually walked into the room and just told him, do this and don't do anything else. Just do this and hold it for as long as you can, and you'll see a difference. So he basically did this. He was just laying in the hospital, started doing this, and within a month's time, they were actually checking x-rays and everything, back was completely healed after 1 month of just doing this as much as you possibly can, okay? That's the power of Qigong energy, right? This is grander than diet. This is grander than physical exercise. When you start to work together and harmonizing your own energy body and start working with life force energy, there is nothing in all of creation that is more powerful than that, right? So again, there's all kinds of incredible secrets when you're working with Qigong, when you're working with Tai Chi, and seeing and feeling the power of these energies and being able to form that equilibrium of energy all together. It's a wonderful thing to see. All right. So again, guys, we are out of time for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of the expansion point for this week. Join us next week with episode number 5, as we're going to be talking about the language of synchronicity. Okay, and we're going to be doing some synchronistic practices. Nothing that involves thought, nothing that involves analysis, right? We're going to be working with the universe, showing exactly how you can do these certain techniques so that the universe can communicate back with you and vice versa, all through the meaning that you put in towards your actions. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the Expansion Point. I'm Brad Johnson. I look forward to speaking to you all again next week. Namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.